Remote Evil. Book 1. Chapter 21. The Fortress. This audiovisual book was created by Joseph Russell Tim Pugison. Then Cherry heard a shot. Then she heard again another shot. John slumped near the door of the outside of the camper van. Cherry saw blood coming out of the back of John. He was heavily wounded but still alive. His eyes turned into the direction where the bullets in his back came from. He was an old man and he can immediately feel himself slowly dying from his gunshot wounds, but his training as a soldier is still as sharp as ever. He tried to locate who shot him. He cannot find anyone. He must be hiding in the bushes. His mind quickly told him. Then he saw something flash on top of a tree. He instinctively swayed to his right side to duck and avoid anything that might come at him. He is very lucky. The bullet just missed his left arm. He knows he is completely exposed in his location in front of the door of the outside of the camper van. He musters all his remaining strength and quickly went inside the camper van. The remotely controlled rifle hidden in the tree just outside the perimeter of the camper van fires several more bullets. A few of the bullets hit and penetrated the body of John. Although bloodied all over his body from his bullet wounds, he was still able to successfully enter the camper van and hide from the remotely controlled rifle hidden in the tree. John knows his time is coming. The bullet wounds are fatal and he is losing too much blood fast. With his dying breath he took out his knife and pushed it inside the fence wire cage wall where Cherry is trapped inside. Cherry instinctively took the knife from him. John looked at Cherry for about 5 seconds straight into her eyes before collapsing on the floor of the camper van where he stayed motionless. Throughout the shooting and even after John collapsed on the floor of the camper van, Cherry was already screaming hysterically. She was almost out of her mind. Her savior was gone. He was lying motionless in a pool of blood just outside her cage. The rapist of Cherry was intently looking at his laptop from far away in his office. He almost did not notice that John has breached the outer perimeters of his camper van and is already in front of his camper van. It was a busy day at the office and he was talking to a lot of people. That is why he was not able to fully monitor Cherry and the other areas of the inside and outside of his camper van. If not for the text message his security software sent him, he would not have noticed that John is already checking his camper van. He made a flimsy excuse to his office mates that he needed to do a quick but very important task, then proceeded to monitor the movements of John on his laptop in his office. He was unsure if he wanted to kill John, but when John shot the door of the camper van he immediately programmed his remotely controlled gun camouflaged in a tree overlooking his camper van to shoot John. To the rapist of Cherry it was just like playing a shoot 'em up video game. He programmed the remotely controlled gun to aim at anything that moves and then he presses his keyboard key that signals the remotely controlled gun to fire. Even if John was able to free Cherry from her cage and together escape from the camper van, they will not go far. The rapist of Cherry has several remotely controlled guns hidden just outside the perimeter of the camper van and would have surely shot Cherry and John easily to death even before they can get far from the camper van. The rapist of Cherry took one last look at all the camera views both from inside and outside of the camper van as well as its perimeter. There are no more intruders to his hideout anywhere. His camper van door might have been shot open and Cherry can now see the outside of the camper van and into the forest, but he does not care. He has proven to himself that he can defend his camper van from intruders and that he can also prevent anyone from rescuing Cherry. He also knows that Cherry will not be able to escape the camper van because she is still locked inside her wire fence cage. He puts his laptop in sleep mode again, assured that everything is still in order in his camper van. He goes back to work and starts talking again to his office mates, assured that if anyone trespasses on his camper van his security software will inform him quickly via text message. Besides this reason, he also cannot stomach any more the sight of Cherry screaming out of her mind while the bloodied body of John lay motionless just outside her cage. This scene irritates him because he sees that he has to clean up this mess later. It is now almost the end of the office week of Friday. Tomorrow he would have to clean up the bloodied body of John and he would have to either bury and or burn his body somewhere in the forest. He also needs to bring tools to repair the damaged door of the camper van. He also needs to bring new locks for his camper van door. Then everything will be back to normal. He will be the Lord and Master of Cherry again. He tries to hide his smile at that thought in his mind, otherwise the other employees might notice him and may think he is thinking of something sinister by the way he smiled. Lord and Master of the beautiful and sexy Cherry Bloom. He repeated this thought over and over again in his mind as he happily did his job at the office. He can't wait for the working week to end. End of chapter.